Hello Internet, it's I the Roshi, and I'm back with another reaction, this time reacting to Honkai Star Rail version trailers. It's been a while. This has been a thing that's been requested for quite some time, and I'm finally here going to do that thing. I know, crazy, right? Anyway, it's part of the rotation. I've been reacting to Honkai Impact 3rd stuff, I've been reacting to Zenless Zone Zero stuff, and now it's just Honkai Star Rail's turn. For those of you who don't know, who are new to this channel, who are just clicking on this video for the first time seeing my face, hi, welcome. Normally I do Genshin Impact related things, playing through the game pretty much blind, and coming up with speculation, all sorts of stuff as I go. How I do these videos, for those who don't know, is that I usually watch through the thing entirely first, and then I talk about it at the end, because I don't like interrupting things. I just don't, unless if it's a really long video and I have to break it up a little bit. But otherwise, this is just kind of how I roll. There's going to be very little editing in this, other than some cuts here and there. But for the most part, what you see is what you get. I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to share my thought process. I'm not going to get too deep, maybe. I don't know. Maybe when it comes to animation or something like that, I might. But other than that, I'm just here to have a good time, and I hope you are too. So without further ado, let's get into it. I may have to take a break at some point in time, because I like to come into these things relatively fresh, so I'm not at the end of the video just going like, yeah, it's cool, yeah, it's good stuff, you know, I want to actually provide you with something interesting to think about. Whether or not it actually is, I just hope it is. Anyway, we're gonna go. I'm tired of rambling. Let's just start. First one. It's the second closed beta trailer. Your choice.
When you have a chance to make a choice,
hold on.
Make one that you know you won't regret. At the end of your journey, all that perplexes you and troubles you will resolve. Reach the end of the story in your own way. To get up.
Huh. Okay. So that was the first version trailer, which is, this is really interesting. Because let me find a screenshot. That was just straight up boobs. Okay, hold on. I got this, guys. Don't you worry. I'm gonna find a good screenshot right there. I mean, let's see. What about something in the beginning where we got some crazy cutscene stuff going on? I don't know. All right, so I think. Oh man. Okay, I don't know. Let's see. This was interesting because I have played Honkai Star Rail a little bit. I played through Belobog. Right? This story arc right here, this is what I experienced in the game. So seeing this trailer was really interesting after having experienced what that is. This is all I know about Honkai Star Rail as far as what the story, how the story unfolds, what it tells me. And seeing this version trailer made it feel so epic, and I could see how people were like really psyched to jump into this game, seeing all these crazy characters, and then even seeing characters that you'd recognize from other things, such as like Sela, for example, when they're showing the Undercity area and you see Sela in the corner like flipping her scythe. You know what I mean? Like I guarantee it, there were videos that are just kind of like Easter eggs in the version trailer of Honkai Star Rail from Honkai Impact 3rd. Like, you know there's definitely going to be those, or there were, as there would be now when other trailers come out and they're making references to things and whatever. But anyway, I'm going to be honest, and oh man, I'm already going to get shit for this. Here we go. The trailer made the game look better than it was. I'm gonna just be real with you. I mean, the trailer was freaking awesome. The game was fun. It was fun when I was playing it, right? It was. But it felt a lot slower when you're actually playing it, right? Which is fine. I don't know. I don't know if there was a pacing issue. I felt like there was just kind of a lull of sorts. And that might have just been me getting around to actually playing things and like not cruising through it super fast. And don't get me wrong, I love how Honkai Star Rail starts. With Kafka and that whole thing. And then when you get to Bellabog, like, it's all like, oh man, crazy, like, snowy place. That's awesome. The city looks super cool. And then you're in the Undercity, and it gets a little boring, in my opinion. I didn't really care about the Undercity stuff. Sorry. But then, and then you have, what's her name? Kalelia? Whatever her name? Like, freaking Bronya's stepmom. Sister, mom? I don't remember. Anyway, yeah, like, I don't know. It's just, it was a lot of fun and it was different for me, and I enjoyed it. But this trailer made it seem so much more. There was so much more involved, and I think what did it for me is that in the very beginning of this version trailer, they're showing you like the end cutscene. Not like the very end, but they're showing you moments of like one of the cutscenes in this, the bigger cutscenes. And of course the cutscenes are great, but it's at the end of this Bellabog story. So I don't know. I mean, of course, like, it's weird. There's a weird feeling about it that I have. It feels super hype, but the super hype moment takes forever to get to. So I don't know. It's just, yeah, that's just how I feel about it. What I really did like about this version trailer too, though, is that how it's Kafka doing the narration for it. It's what she says in the very beginning, when she is waking you up, and I love that, and how they show that scene at the end here where it's the light in your, it's the the thing you're like the Stellaron, all that stuff, or whatever that is. Anyway, it's cool. It's cool. I mean, I don't think it's the game's fault. I think it's more of me, because I went into Honkai Star Rail just like, all right, I'm going to figure out all the lore. I'm going to read and I'm going to do everything that there is, just like I'm doing in Genshin Impact. And then I realized as I was doing it that Honkai Star Rail just has so much more. And that's not insulting Genshin Impact. It's so much more because you're not just on a space station. You're not just on one planet. you are in a universe and you are going from one place to another. So that idea of how expansive that was going to be, I think kind of got to me a little bit. And there was just like, there's no way I'm going to remember all of this plus the other gacha games I was doing at the time, which was Genshin Impact and Zenless Zone Zero at the same time. So I got overwhelmed and I dropped the game after Belobog. Maybe one day I'll go back to it. It'd be nice. It really would. But here I am looking at the version trailers. Anyway, I've rambled on about this. My experience playing Honkai Star Rail, it was fun. It felt a little slow. That might have been my own fault. I can accept that. This trailer makes it seem really, really, really freaking awesome. And I'm sure that most people who see this would be like, yeah, I want to play this game right now. Hell yeah. And I don't blame them. It's a really good trailer. It's a nice setup for everything. There's a lot of like, what the heck is going on kind of questions. And you want to find out. And that's just it. All right. But let's move on. That was cool. All right. Next up we have Next Stop, The Stars.
The stellar in my body.
Are you trying to catch the stars?
Many millennia have passed. Is this what Eurelo 6 has become? Well then, are you ready for your first trailblazing expedition since joining the crew?
Let's get going!
Oh, so it's still Belobog? Yeah.
One of them is carrying a seed of ruin that will bring about our end.
We'll show them who is this expedition! Disappear among the sea of butterflies.
Humans never conceal their desire to control the heavens. So why would I?
Why did you separate yourself from humans? So what's up with that? I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so interesting. These are trailers for it before the beta even comes out. They're for the beta. Which, yeah, that's... Wait, was this the first one? First closed beta? They're in different order? Because I just watched the second closed beta trailer. Okay, that makes interesting that... I was gonna say... Because I was seeing the scenes in this, and I'm like... This is cool, but it's not nearly as grandiose as what I just saw. So what's up with that? But apparently... This was for the first closed beta, which was still good. There's a lot of things that you're seeing and going like, uh-oh, I'm recognizing things. And then you'd see the second closed beta trailer later, which is like more showing more of the cutscenes of the crazy stuff happening. That makes sense. They okay, in their playlist they have it backwards a little bit. Interesting. I don't have much else to say about it because this was just more Belobog, obviously. I imagine that's just what the beta was. Playing through that storyline. Seeing Eurelo 6. Doing your thing. Getting to mess around with these characters. Yeah, man, I wanted Welt on my team so bad. But I don't have him. I didn't have Welt. I had, well, actually, but I'm not complaining, though. I got Bronya. as like my second pull ever, which was awesome. I'm for those of you who are like, man, you should play Honkai Star Rail, you should play. I did, like I mentioned before earlier in this video, I have played Honkai Star Rail. And if you are interested, there are videos that exist on my channel of me playing Honkai Star Rail, or at least through Belobog. You can find those there. So I recommend, if you're interested, you can go look for them. There should be a Honkai Star Rail playlist, maybe? And that's where those videos were. And they do eventually end at some point, so if you want to see what the actual VODs are, then there should be a link in the description down below that brings you to my VOD channel, where you can see the rest of my Belobog adventure. So you can at least watch me complete Belobog, at the very least, if you really wanted to see me play Honkai Star Rail at all. It's there. It is out there. You just have to do a little bit of digging, but it's there. I promise. But yeah, okay, let's move on to the next one. Another final closed beta trailer. All right. So this is probably gonna be Belobog as well. The trash can. I remember the trash can. Okay, never been to this place. We're in new territory now. Okay. Oh, there's a little more. Show me.
Kids have all the fun. I'd like to explore the ship myself.
Patience. I think you're in for a surprise.
Okay. Cool. So let's talk about this. I never got to meet this character in game. Already have a crush on them. Anyway, so what I want to say, this was fun. This was a fun little trailer. I really do like the seeing the character do the thing, freeze frame, name pops up. It's a cool, like I like that little style of something, and it adds a lighthearted or comical aspect to it. Seeing the characters act in their different ways, their personalities showing, and then just like bam, here they are. This is what they do. It's cool. I like it. It's a little... It's showing personality to these characters that unfortunately wasn't there when I was playing it. Like, for example, we saw Pela earlier on in this video, and like, you do nothing with Pela in Belobog. Like, she's just there and you can talk to her and there's like a scene or something, but like it's not really in depth at all. But they kind of had like a goofy moment showing her. Gepard or Gepard, whatever his name is, and his sister. Like, yeah, they talk about their relationship a little bit and stuff, but I don't think we really see them interact too much. I think there's a scene, kind of, but you know, like there's stuff that's happening, but not happening, and these version trailers are fleshing that out a little bit more. I wish we saw more of it in the game itself through actual action and not just talking about it. It's interesting. Like here's what I'm trying to say with this. When I was playing Honkai Star Rail, I gave it a lot of props, and I still do for a lot of things. I think its cutscenes were more involved than those in like Genshin Impact, for example, because that's all I could compare it to at the time, and I made that comparison a lot with as far as gacha games go and Hoyoverse games, right? And the thing that I'm talking about has nothing to do with its gameplay system, so I'm not comparing it in that way. I'm comparing it through a storytelling perspective, where in Genshin Impact, what they do a lot of the time is that they have characters who are very stationary talking to each other, and they have 3 emotes that they do, and they repeat those, and that's pretty much it. They're getting a little better with their camera angles these days, but Honkai Star Rail started with, obviously it came out much later than Genshin, but it started with like better camera angles and stuff and more emotes for the characters. So at least when you had in-game cutscenes of characters with dialogue, just like, you know, exchanging dialogue with each other, talking and standing there, it seemed a little more entertaining because the camera would keep changing and they're doing different animations and such, and you can kind of be more engaged with it. It's not good to have the same camera angle for too long in the same spot. It depends on what you're doing and how avant-garde you're trying to be, I guess. It really depends. If you're having a scene where there's little action in it, your camera needs to provide that action, if that makes sense, to keep the audience engaged for the most part. But then you could have a scene where sometimes I think it's better to have a more still camera during an action scene so you can see the full-on action experience take place. It really depends. It depends with all sorts of situations. But if you have 2 people at like at a table talking, you're gonna want to continue switching over the shoulder points of views from both characters, and then like zoom outs and the shots that reveal the entire store or diner that they're in having their conversation. Like, you know, like you want to keep things moving and things interesting and showing stuff happening, a close up of someone pouring coffee, like, you know, whatever that is. And Honkai Star Rail, although not that in depth, still has that idea where they started off with that concept of camera angles and such, whereas in Genshin Impact, being being like years earlier and them not being as experienced, their dialogue cutscenes between characters are relatively boring, or at least they were when you were in Mondstadt and Liyue. It just was. But that's not taking away from its story or anything. It's just you could see how experienced and knowledgeable that they were at the time and how far their teams have come since then. So I'm not trying to insult any game or anyone that's worked on these games. You can just see the improvement already when Honkai Star Rail first started versus other things that they have done. But I could be wrong too, and maybe the Genshin team is just a different animal doing something completely different than the rest of the Hoyoverse teams and stuff on their games. I don't know. But then I would also say, like, Zenless Zone Zero has also improved beyond Honkai Star Rail when it comes to their cutscenes and stuff, because they found all sorts of ways, different unique animations and such, and then introducing like comic panels to even break it up even more and make that an interesting concept, and full-on cutscenes, and the dialogue things where it's very, I don't know. I like the different styles in all these games for different reasons. But what I'm at the same time, I guess I'm going on a tangent. What I'm trying to say here is that even though Honkai Star Rail succeeded in that, at least in the beginning, I don't know if they ever improved since then, if they got even better or if they got lazier. I don't know. I've heard both. that I still wish there was more between other characters that I didn't get to see that much. Like, you know, I have like a C6 Pela on my team. Know nothing about the character. Yeah, I could probably look up their bio in the game or whatever that is, but I don't want to do that. I'd rather at least have something a little more before I did that. Give me a reason to even want to look it up in the first place, you know? And that's just all that is. And that's with all sorts of characters, not just Pela. So it's not just attacking that character in general. Anyway, like I feel like the characters you know the most about are the ones you've like that are on your team. Like there's Dan Heng and there's March 7th and there's Himiko and there's Welt, and like you have an idea of their personalities. Well, what's his name? Sampo? Like you got an idea of him. Sela and Bronya? Like yeah, like so like the main, like there's the main cast, but then some of the other ones are just kind of like there for a little bit and then you stop caring real quick because they're not there anymore. Anyway, that's what I have to say about it. Did I mention that she's super cute? Anyway, let's keep going. Let's just keep going. This is Tokyo Game Show 2022.
The universe. Eons. The Astral Express. Can I get dragged into a science fiction movie or something?
Yes.
You also have another option. If you want, you can leave with us. Sometimes we stop on other worlds, and we'll continue to do so.
It's empowering, looking out at a world from a window like this. But when you set foot on the planet itself, you realize how small and helpless you really are.
The Express has traveled world after world. We are merely passing travelers, witnesses to part of a grander story.
Our ancestors built this city, striving in the bitter snow to prolong our civilization. Even if this world is doomed to fall apart, we should allow humanity to pave the way to its final outcome.
It's like weaving brocade. You and I can only add one gold thread each time. But eventually, we will make a gorgeous pattern. The next stop, to pave the way for the future that is written. Long time no see, Astral Express crew. I'd like you to make a destination alteration.
Okay. Oh, there's more. Okay.
Finally.
Rudimentary. Your every move has been foreseen
That's crazy.
by the Omniscient. Fushun, Divination Commission.
That's a cool way to introduce that character. That is actually pretty sick. Yeah. Okay. This is... I imagine this is a scene that you... it's got to be a scene that you get into maybe after Bellabog in the next area, potentially. And then how they introduce Fushun. Kafka's gorgeous. I love the character designs in Honkai Star Rail. Just going to say that outright. Speaking of character designs, Welt here. I keep getting messages that's like, if it wasn't for the beard, you pretty much are Welt. I'm like, cool, great, that's good. I'll take that. If I ever get back into Honkai Star Rail, or I mean, I don't think I'm going to do it anytime soon, but if I even tried Honkai Impact 3rd, just for funsies, might try cosplaying as well during a playthrough or something. I don't know. Why not, right? That means I'd have to shave. Yeah, why not? It's fine. All right. Anyway, Witness. Yeah, so this was cool that they showed more of like the space station stuff that happens in the beginning of the game. And a lot more Kafka involved, including this end piece here. I don't really have much else to say because I already talked a bunch about Belobog and the characters within it and all that stuff. We are slowly moving into the newer territory that I don't know about because I'd never met Fushuan. I'd never made it to another area after Belobog. This I guess this is a thing that happens. Maybe this kicks off the next part of the adventure where Kafka just kind of introduces herself to the characters. She, you kind of had your interaction with her, but you were like dazed and stuff. And she seems to be like I don't necessarily want to say the antagonist, unless that's what they're trying to make it seem like in the beginning. Which, I mean, they kind of do, because they're like criminals and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. It's Stellaron hunters. So she is considered an opposing force of some kind. But I'm wondering, like, how much more... I feel like she's pretty involved with the story, with the stuff that she says. The things that she says are very important, I imagine. It's like the stuff that she says is going to be referenced throughout the rest of the game, and it will come back towards the end of the game at some point whenever you get there, most likely. I feel like Kafka is a very, very, very important character. Maybe I'm wrong, but they set her up to be one, I believe. And yeah. What else am I to say about that? This is a point that I said in one of my Honkai Star Rail gameplay videos that I want to bring up here, although I didn't really hear the thing that I'm going to be talking about, but the voice acting in general. I know I'm listening to the English voice acting, and some people may have problems with that, like, why aren't you listening to it in Japanese, whatever that is, blah, blah, blah. It's just because it's easier to react to things this way. That's just what it is. I have nothing against it. It's just what I know and what I prefer. And I don't necessarily want to say one is better than the other. They both have their strengths in different ways. And for anyone who says otherwise, they are an elitist and don't know what they're talking about. Just uneducated people. And that's just what that is. That's not saying, I mean, by all means, prefer your Japanese dub. Prefer your Chinese dub. Prefer your Korean dub. Whatever it is. You do you, that's fine. Just don't bash on what other people like, because that makes you an asshole. Anyway, yeah, so I've listened to the game so far in English, and I quite like its dub. And one of the reasons why I really like it in Honkai Star Rail in particular is because it's perfectly imperfect. And that might sound stupid. That might sound like, what the hell are you talking about, Roshi? How can something imperfect be perfect? Like, that doesn't make sense. Well, it does, because human speech is not perfect. No one is ever actually talking as if they are reading off of a script, unless if they are reading off of a script. People make fumbles in their speech all the time, especially in normal conversation. It's one thing if you practice to give a speech or something like that, but people have these little mannerisms, these little tics, these things that happen, these filler words, and in Honkai Star Rail, they have that, and such a just this space opera, sci-fi, fantasy world, whatever you want to call it, it's fictional world. Like, yes, things can be portrayed a certain way to make sure the message gets across, and it still does. But here, with these characters, they make them more lifelike with how they speak in some ways. And it really kind of sells their personality even more. So, for example, Kafka here, she looking elegant as fuck. She really cool. She's got style. She's a badass. But, and her voice is great. Sorry, I do not actually know the voice actors and actresses' names. I'm just not good with names in general, so. But anyway, I remember a moment where I think she is talking over comms to Silverwolf, and Silverwolf is going on like with some techno babble or whatever that is, and Kafka is like just trying to get her mind right and follow it, and she says something, but like as she's trying to get her words together, she's just like, what? Like, you know, just a little like it's like the little the word garbling right there, and it just feels so like natural. Like when you're like lost and trying to keep up, or you lost your words or whatever that is, and you're just like, what the fuck? Like, you know, just like, I don't know. It felt so good to like hear that, and it's not only her that does it. She did it the best, and it's not all the time. It's just like in those moments of like confusion or whatever that is, or, you know, someone sighing with like some like intonation on a phrase or word or whatever that is. It's the dialogue isn't static. It doesn't sound static. It doesn't sound like they are just reading off of a script. You can hear their personalities in what they're saying. Or it's not like, you know, some people think that voice acting is just about putting on a voice that's different from other voices. You can be a voice actor and use your own voice every single time. You do not have to make your voice sound higher or lower or like Yoda or like Bart Simpson or anything like that. That's not what voice acting is. Those are impressions. Voice acting is actually acting and becoming the character itself. You don't see actors always change their voice. Yeah, they might sound different in some roles, but that's because they are taking on the character and they are taking on ways on like how they would probably talk. But they're not actually really changing themselves to the point where it's that, like, I don't know. Like, yes, obviously, you can alter your voice to sound more like a character based on like their size or if they're a different creature, all that stuff. That is part of it. But you also have to make it believable. And I think they do that relatively well in Honkai Star Rail, from what I've seen. Maybe it changes later on. I don't know. But from what I've experienced, it's pretty good. You can sense the emotion. You can see the hesitation and all sorts of stuff when characters are talking in times where that stuff is pretty much needed. I would say maybe if I had to nitpick, no, it's not even. I would say like the least interesting is probably Dan Heng, but at the same time, that's not necessarily like the voice actor's fault. He's just supposed to be a very, from what I've seen of him, he's just a very monotone character. He's just a very like, I'm just doing my own thing. I'm just whatever, just one note, whatever that is. People could argue that I have a monotone voice. I do. So I mean, like, I get it. But he doesn't really express himself too much, other than he's just very monotone, dry humor when there is any humor, and for the most part pretty strict and just like straight edge. So, but at the same time, that's kind of his character. I know that's not it just is his character. So that's they purposely made him that way. It's obviously intentional and not a bad performance. That's the difference there. But that being said, because of that, there are other characters who I find more interesting. March 7th is also she's just phenomenal as well. I know some people love March, some people really dislike March. I like March. I'm on the side of like March is a great freaking character from what I've seen. And in the beginning, I thought like, oh man, she's gonna be so freaking annoying. I ended up loving her. I think she's cool. I don't know what it is. I think she's just a good addition to whatever it is that they're doing. That she is that comic relief, but she does kind of have like that sad backstory that's also mysterious, and but from what I've seen so far, also has, although kind of airhead like, her heart is in the right place, right? She's not like stupid. She's just has trouble taking things a little seriously sometimes. Anyway, we are going to move on. That was a rant and a half. Let's continue. And by the way, this should be a no-brainer. I'm saying all this stuff. I am not asking for anyone to agree with any of my takes. You really don't have to. I know some people will hear me talk, or maybe hear another content creator talk, and they think that they have to be like, man, they think their word is law, so I'm going to get angry in the comments. By all means, you do you. I'm not telling you to do or behave or believe a certain thing. You are allowed to have a different opinion. If you're going to point it out in the comments, I may debate with you, but that's not because I am angry at you. That's just because I will elaborate my points if questioned. And that's all it is. It's nothing personal. Some people take it personally. Those people also have to take a chill pill. Anyway, let's continue. We are moving on to Nightmare. I think I saw an image of Blade, so I don't know anything about Blade other than what I've seen so far in the other reactions. I was just talking about you, guy. Oh.
Of 5 people, 3 must pay a price. You are not one of them, Jin Yuan.
Oh.
You are one of them.
There we go. The most emotion I've seen out of this guy.
is in danger. This man, he...
The train is about to make the jump. Hold on, everyone.
Okay. That was great. That was short but sweet. I really enjoyed that. And you know, I'm gonna eat my words a little bit right now. Well, not really. I still stand by what I said. But this is the most emotion we've seen out of this character. And to actually see and hear this person react the way they did to their nightmare, that was great. I love that. That was convincing. It wasn't like he just got up and was like, oh, what a nightmare. It was like, oh, fuck, like, you know, actually panicking. And that's awesome. Well, I mean, I feel a little bad. I don't know. Should I feel bad? I'm not sure. A lot of people don't like Don. There's a part in the story, which I think we're in, where a lot of people turn on him because of something he did or does or whatever. And I don't know what that is. But more people, unless if it's just a loud minority, people being all like, Don Hong sucks as a person. Like, whatever he does, it's bad. I imagine it's Blade related. There we go. They made Blade look absolutely sinister here. And my guess, if I had to guess, I'm going to speculate now. Now, once again, I'm going to explain that speculation does not mean fact. All right. Sorry. I don't want to talk down to people, but some people don't get it. Anyway, it feels like they are setting Blade up to be a villainous character. At the very least, an anti-hero of some kind, right? Don Hung is a character that's been with our party, and he's considered to be one of the heroes, right? He is one of the guys that are with you. Whether or not we are heroes is a whole other thing. We are just kind of doing our own thing, from what I understand. But you know what I mean. One of the protagonists. Or supporting characters for the protagonist. But because of what I've heard about Dan Heng and like how, or at least I've heard that people dislike him at some point because of actions, I feel like this is almost like a red herring of sorts. Like, yes, he obviously has history with this Blade character. And I feel like Blade just wants revenge, which seems pretty, like, nasty. But it's probably because Don did something that was kind of fucked up to him. That's my guess. And I think when you find out whatever that fucked up thing was, that's when people are like, man, Don, you suck. You suck, man. I feel like that's kind of where we're going with this. Once again, speculation. I don't actually know. I stopped after Belobog, which was like right now. I did not get to see anything. Like, I got back onto the Express. I talked to like a hologram lady, and that was it. That's all I got. So, anyway, yeah, we're gonna keep going. But that's my prediction anyway, and I wonder if that will be revealed in any of the version trailers. Maybe not. Either way, it's all right. I am just enjoying myself. Okay, let's keep going here. Next one is Summer Game Fest 2022. To you who will soon depart. We are.
Listen. You are in a daze right now. You don't know who you are, why you're here.
I'm pausing for a second. These are not in the right order, I'm guessing, because we are going backwards. We are going back to the beginning again. All right. Sure. Their playlist is a little bit of a mess. My apologies, but I'm just gonna keep going through it, I suppose. Sorry to interrupt.
None of that matters. In the near future, you will encounter many perils. You will meet companions who treat you like family and embark on unimaginable adventures.
Good.
Remember what you feel in this moment. As long as you know in your heart where you're heading, you will arrive at the end of the story. That's the you I like.
Okay.
I have wine to soothe the souls of honored guests. Welcome aboard the Cienjo La Fool.
Okay. Boy, am I confused with what's going. They keep showing trailers for like the game itself, and then yeah, like it's not like this one's not even out yet, but the other one was. But Nightmare had to. But Gamescom. Okay. Yeah. I don't really know. Now it's the official release trailer, and then we're getting into the versions. Oh, thank God. Okay. So these were all pre-release trailer stuff for different conventions and such. I understand now. And they are showing like the first two areas, kind of. Belobog more so than the second one. Interesting. I did not think that they would jump beyond Belobog for their like announcement, beta trailers, and all that stuff. For the beta, for anyone watching this who may have been a part of the beta, did you get to play beyond Belobog for it? Did you actually get to see like Fu Xuan and Blade and all this stuff? Or no, it was just teased? They're kind of making it seem like you could have, maybe. I don't know. All right. let's do this next one, and then we'll get into the rest of it. I guess this is Interstellar Journey. Interstellar Journey. Interstellar Journey. I can read when I want to.
From the rusty
got music.
Don't stay in a daze looking for a sign. Start and try. Run across fields of ice, but hidden in starlight. Be well aware of roads we've gone by. Put yesterday's aside. Meet the future head on. Now trailblazers keep credos in mind.
Okay. And that was the official release trailer. I'll be honest, it wasn't bad, but that was the weakest one so far. The best part about it was the beginning with Kafka shuffling the cards around and stuff with how the music was all funky and starting. And then I did the mistake of actually trying to read the lyrics. And I was like, this sounds a little too, let's have an anime opening where the lyrics don't actually make sense. Or like they do, but they're not great. Like it doesn't I feel like such a dick. It just didn't, for me, it didn't flow well. Like I tried to get into it and I was like, I'm not actually feeling it right now. Like it's cool, but I feel like it just didn't fit the vibe for Honkai Star Rail when comparing it to every other thing that I've seen for it so far through these version trailers. Does that make sense? Am I weird for feeling that way? Like, if I saw this trailer for the game, I would not care for the game. I'm being real with you. If this was the first thing I saw for the game, I'd be like, okay, these characters look kind of cool, and then that's about it. And then I'd probably forget about it within a half an hour. If I saw the other stuff first, which you would have, most likely, if you've been following the game at all and saw anything about it, then you'd be more interested. So, like, that's not to say that this trailer would take me out from wanting to play the game if I wanted to play it before, but if it was the initial thing that I saw, I would not be thrilled to look into it deeper. That's all I'm saying right there. I don't know. Look, people just have their jobs and they do what they're told to do and they do the thing and whatever, and it's just what it is. I'm not trying to insult the singer. I think her voice was nice. I wasn't a huge fan of what the lyrics were saying because it's just like wheel within wheel and we're gonna pulverize. Like I just what? And yeah, you could probably make sense out of it if you really, but like I don't know. It just didn't flow well to me. I feel like there's other language you could have used to express whatever feeling you wanted to convey there. That's just how I feel about that. Anyway, we're going to move on to the next. We're in the 1.1 trailer now. Okay, finally, we're going to get to like the actual version trailer stuff. I will say some people might be like, wow, you're an asshole. And I just want to reiterate that I say it like it is, how I believe like it is. I don't really sugarcoat my feelings and what I say about stuff. I And maybe some people don't like that, but these are videos where I express my opinions. So yeah, just wanted to make that clear. I don't fake react to things. There are plenty of other reactors who do, so by all means you can go and look for them. But when I like something, I will give it its flowers, and when I dislike something, you'll know. And that's just what that is. That's not saying that you can like or that's not saying that you can't like or dislike the same or different things than me. It's just you do what you want. But also, don't get mad at me in my video. Go make your own video and talk about your points. Let's get into this. This one is the version 1.1 trailer, Galactic Roaming.
Your fake ID info is ready. This place is different from the rest of the space station. We're on Genius Society turf. Alright, let's get going. We have to move quickly. Not what we're looking for. It's a bait signal.
You can challenge the space station. But challenge me? Good luck. Welcome to Billabong's History and Culture Museum. As you can see, the interior looks brand new. But we're in a bit of a bind. Our exhibit was stolen. Let me take a look. So these are the suspects.
Let's settle this. Enough talk. Have it!
Never let your guard down in front of your enemy. And now, young man, allow me to give you a dignified end.
Damn. Okay. And then they have all the coming soon stuff. All right, I'm not gonna really watch this kind of thing here, because this does not apply to me, and a lot of these things are probably over with at this point, especially if they were. Well, actually, you could redo events in Honkai Star Rail. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to be focusing on those rewards anytime soon. Anyway, or whatever you want to say. So yeah, that was once again, I felt like that showed things that I wasn't really aware of. Like side content that I haven't really done. I did do Silver Wolf's story quest. I forget the actual name. That might have been the thing between her and Herta right there, maybe, potentially. But yeah, we saw they introduce a lot of characters right out the gate. I mean, it's cool though. All right. I don't really have much else to say because it is still covering the stuff that we've talked about so far. But yeah, I do not remember this like inside the museum stuff, and I remember this character, but I don't remember like this area. So this is definitely like other mission stuff leading into the next part of the game. So yeah, we're gonna move on. Okay, 1.2.
The rules of this game are like reality. We all think we have infinite possibilities, but when you really analyze it, every question and answer is constrained by previous choices. Relax.
Oh my god, her music.
the sin of your past. Fail. Defend you.
Release your full potential. The power you carry is the key to opening a way through to the ambrosial arbor. As coming here triggered your memory. What happens next is in your hands.
You, and you. All three of you are staying right here.
The karma of past lives changed the world of the present.
I wish for you to despair, suffer, crumble, turn on one another, and destroy that which you love with your own hands.
That doesn't sound very nice. That sounds kind of rude. Okay. And then you got this stuff. Is there anything at the end here? No, doesn't look like it. Okay. So, all right, that's pretty sick. He's having a hard time. I'm going to say what I love about this especially is, once again, the cutscenes look great. But there's also so many different environments that they're showing off in this 1.2 trailer. Like, at least 3 different places. Maybe even 4. And that it's really that's a good shot. I don't know. Like, I know that it's not very like open world. It is, but it isn't. Like, you just kind of enter an area and you get to explore that area. And then you can move into like load into the next area and explore that part of it. Which I don't mind at all. But they do a good job at making it look very, very beautiful. And a lot of variety between them as well. So I do enjoy that. I have one nitpick. I have one nitpick in this entire thing, and I'm going to show it. And unfortunately, it's with Blade. I like Blade, but one second. Oh, actually, maybe not. Maybe we're okay. Maybe we're okay. Maybe I saw it wrong. Oh, wait. Hold on. You guys might be like, what are you even looking at? I'll explain in a second. Okay. Alright. It's not... It's... Alright, I'll give them a pass. It looks... Alright, I'm just gonna say it. Blade here looks a little awkward, standing on that. I think they should have found something that was more flat for him to stand on. Because of how just the shadowing is. It looks like one foot is floating. To me. And, I mean, and to be fair, there is a part, like, he has, like, the front half of his foot hanging off of the thing that he's on. And realistically, that would not fly. That'd be pretty messed up. Like, he's got his toes are hanging off the thing, and you would not be doing that. And I know this is just like in game, like you just got to the spot in game, and they're chilling there and stuff, and they're trying to position it. But it looks like his toes are hanging off here, and his heel is not flush with the curved surface. So that's why I think it'd be better if it was flat. I know it's a small detail. It's supposed to be this cool vigilante anti-hero character, whatever you want to call him, like looking over a part of the city with the laugh and just trying to be a badass. You could have had him stand like over here, like on a flat surface, so his feet didn't look like they were hanging off or barely like molded to the thing that he was standing on, because it just looks a little janky. And I know it's a quick scene, it's a quick pan, but these are the kind of things that I look for. Like I like when things make sense. It's one thing if I'm in the game and I go here and I'm standing here and it doesn't really work out, because it's just like, I'm not normally supposed to be in this area. Ha 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 ha, I'm just being tricky with it. But they could have easily have found another surface that was up high. that was more flat. Like, he literally could have been standing right here, and they could have done the same thing. Maybe not because of the trees, but they could find something. I'm sure they could find something. You could even go here, which is arguably almost the same height as this. You know. And that would have been just fine. That is my only nitpick. It's not a big deal. It doesn't ruin the trailer or anything. It was just kind of like, it took me out of it for a second. And I was like, oh, we're very much in game right now. Even though I know we're supposed to be and all that stuff. But yeah. This is the face I made when I saw that. No, okay. Yeah. Who is she? Anyway, so that's all I gotta say about this one. I think it's really cool how they showed the different environments, the cutscenes that we're seeing of these shots of these places with the water and the storms, and like, it looks really epic. And yeah, we get into some crazy Don Han shenanigans, it seems. We got Welt here, who's all winded, and he's all winded, and I imagine stuff goes down. So that's a thing. Anyway, cool. Yeah, let's keep going. All right. Celestial Eyes. Above mortal ruins?
We honor those who have passed on. We place items of the dead onto star skiffs and send them out to sail between the stars, to shine brightly among them.
Before you leave, please make time to recuperate. I must attend to some Cloud Knight matters. Farewell for now. All things in this world have their laws.
You know that I'm a descendant of the Lawfu Vidyadhara. You witnessed my secret strength, as March would call it.
As you can see, we added a few things to this simulated universe. Stephen Lloyd thinks this is a big achievement. We call it Simulated Universe. The Swarm Disaster.
Okay. Let me scan ahead, see if there's anything. Nope. That seems like about it. Alright, so the Swarm universe. That seems fun. Fighting giant bugs. Because the only good bug is a dead bug. This guy, I think I've heard people be like, when is this guy going to be a character you can play as? I don't know, they might be. They look fancy enough to be. So yeah. But yeah, we have the introduction of Fu Xuan here, and the other version of Dan Heng. I see, is this thing... Why are you doing... Stop it. Do I have to do that on every video? Come on now. Come on now. My apologies, guys. Something that Fu Xuan said. I hope I'm saying her name right. I think that's how she pronounced it. Oh, what was the thing? I'm going to play it for a second.
All things in this world have their laws.
Okay, yeah. Alright. Yeah, all things in this world have their laws. There is something interesting about that to me. First, hold a second. That's crazy looking. I know we saw it before, but like, damn. Anyway, all things in this world have their laws or whatever, something. That I think that is pretty interesting because I like that concept where you have characters that acknowledge like the laws of the universe and they use that to their advantage. But we also saw Fu Xuan in a earlier trailer of sorts where she was literally bending the laws of reality, where she just was coming down from the sky, Kafka's bullets everywhere, and she like slowed time and was like tapping the bullets, turning them around and setting them back. Like something that you can't really do within our own laws of the universe, how things work. However, according to her, because of doing stuff like that, there are either ways to manipulate or bend, or there's a whole nother set of laws that she is applying to this situation, however that is. And I know maybe that's like, that's just garbage, just magic. Like, well, no. Yeah, but no, but it could... I don't know. I like it when there is something that seems to be magical, but there is a formula, like there is a science element to it in some way, or even if it appears mystical, but there's like some like, I like the idea of how science, or no, that's not what I want to say. I want to say I like the idea of how like magic is just science that you don't understand, if that makes sense at all. Because if you think about it, for someone who is just completely foreign or ignorant to whatever is happening, like they have no idea how to understand it at all. Like if you went back to like go visit cavemen and you had your cell phone, that would be considered like something godlike, like something magical. They don't know how technology works. So there's like this idea of like how there could be this like science that's so great that there is a theory, there is a reason as to why it works the way it does. But to us, we see it as something that's divine or something that is magical. Meanwhile, there is actually some method to it. Whether or not that is Fu Shua's thing, it just reminded me of that when she said, like, every world has its laws and stuff. I think that's a really cool concept. And I like characters who kind of mess with that. I guess that's also what I thought was interesting about Ruan Mei when I saw her in some previous animations, and how she was just very like essentially not outright saying it to where we can understand it from her words, but implying that she is different, she thinks differently, and because of that perhaps she could become a god herself in an eon, right? And although playing god is like a very clear sign of like this character's not on the up and up, probably like it's like to want to play god, to become a god is usually a very villainous thing, or a selfish thing, whatever you want to put that underneath. But I kind of like that mentality in characters. I think it makes them very interesting characters that are this morally gray, willing to do some horrible stuff for what they believe to be for the greater good. I would still consider them pretty bad because they're taking a lot of bad steps to get to that point. Even though you might say it's, just like, well, no, they're still trying to do good things, but like, if you're hurting people, you're hurting people. I don't know. I'm just saying. But yeah. So there is that. But I like that in a character because it makes them very complex. It's very interesting. So seeing that in like Ruan Mei, with that whole idea of how I already talked about it, but becoming an Eon. But then you have these other characters such as Fu Xuan, who is already bending reality in her own ways. So what makes her not a god? What's the next step? If you are one that can bend like reality and time, of course we saw it on a smaller scale, but what's stopping her from continuing her practice into even more crazy divine stuff? She also kind of looks like a tarot card reader or like some fortune teller person. I can't remember if that's her thing too, but if she's dealing with like time bending stuff, messing with the rules and laws of reality, and she's stopping time, and then she's doing like tarot reading stuff or fortune telling stuff, seeing into the future potentially, or having visions, what makes her not already some supreme being? Or is she supposed to be? Do you know what I mean? Like, what is that? What makes someone a god in this universe if you can already do all of that potentially? It's interesting how powerful these characters could be, but they're still not like the most powerful that they could potentially be. Same thing with Herda. Herda's wicked smart. So I mean, like, and I'm sure, I think I've heard that she's probably tried to become an Eon at some point in time, or maybe she is one for all we know. I don't know. Like I said, I played through Belobog, and that's about it. I just know Herda's really, really freaking smart, and she's been smart for a long time. So yeah. Anyway, that's what I have to say about that. We're gonna go on to the next one. Okay. Next one is even. Wait, where am I? So let's see. Okay, I did that. I did that right. Okay. Jolted awake from a winter dream. Oh. I'm spectating.
The Interastral Tournament Festival Championship is about to commence. Please take to your seats.
My friends, join me in this dance. Let's bring this exquisite celebration to its climax.
Belobog might be in arrears, but I'm out of pocket. Go Nutty!
How could you get home? Never come to
Enough!
I returned to the Law Fu so I could surrender myself to the Alliance and atone for my sins. This will be the last you see of me.
Sword War!
Blade of Moonlight. High Cloud Quintet. It is time to say goodbye.
Wow, that was a good one. I enjoyed that. Okay.
Cloud.
First of all, freaking Monarch killing it. I just, her voice is so good. I can't. Nope. You're not gonna get me to simp. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. If you know, you know. It's just great. So we're back in Belobog. That's cool. We got some chaos going on here. I don't know what, but we got Bronya all messed up, or I don't know, messed up, just stressed. And we have Topaz and Numby. Yep. So I remember, I think when I was still kind of playing, there were banners up that were of Sparkle and Topaz, I think. That was the pair. And I didn't know anything about Sparkle at the time. From what I've seen of Sparkle now, absolutely love the character. Probably would have pulled for them. But I don't regret it because I did pull for Topaz and I did get Topaz. And I still don't know anything about Topaz either, but she's hot. And that's it. That's all I gotta say about that. I mean, damn those hips. Anyway, sorry. No, I'm losing myself a little bit. I think what's cool, we're gonna move on. I think what's cool here is that it looks like we have a little bit of like a tournament arc, and we kind of had that in Belobog with like, it wasn't really a tournament arc though. You had like 1 or 2 fights, and then it was like, oh, now we're off to do something else because Sampo lied to us or something or whatever. But we have this bigger arena looking thing, and all these and the characters fighting the robots. Maybe it's the same thing. Maybe we make a return, but it's like an upgrade, like a bigger stage. Like this looks like a bigger place for sure. This is absolutely a bigger location. This is a different location. 100%. It's got to be. God, you're gorgeous. Anyway, so we're going to... I think it's cool that you're back in Belobog. That there's some weird tournament thing going on here. You got your debt collector. You have some government crisis happening that you're probably going to help Bronya with. Jeopard here, or Gepard, whatever your name. I can never remember your name. You're trying to do your job as best you can with your shield. Good on you, man. And then you have her. And I love her too, cuz she's so cool. There's something about like a blindfolded character that can just kick ass. It's just I don't know what it is. They're really good at finding these, like, I don't know if this is the right word for it, but like these tropey things and really just like going in hard with them. And because they do it that way, it just works, and I appreciate it. Does that make sense? Is that weird to say? That's just kind of how I feel about that. Yeah. Once again, just so many good characters being shown in this one too, or characters that I have a lot of interest in for various reasons. All sorts. You know, Blade's here too. And what's up with this? Who are you? Why am I lost? Why am I confused about that? They're not the same. The freaking red eyes. It's just against the blue. Oh man, just God. All right. Can I gush about color theory just a little bit? I know I do it all the time, but just even shots like this. Hold on. I can get to it, guys. I can get to it. Guys, I can do this. I'm gonna find it. I can't find it. I'm panicking. All right, fuck it. So, what's really cool here is that color combinations that contrast, that look really good with each other. Really nice combinations. Makes things pop. You have Blade with the red and blue. And you also have this other character. Oh god, what's her name? What is actually... I don't want to keep just saying Monarch. What is the character's name? Is it Jing Liu? Is that it? I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna waste everyone's time and look it up. I know you're all screaming it, but I can't hear you. La la la. This is in the past. Some people don't get that, but here I am trying to look it up. All right, hold on. Okay, Honkai Star Rail. Is it Jing Liu? Is it? It is! I didn't have to, guys. I'm just sorry for being just so awesome and remembering that. And they probably said her name somewhere in this. Anyway, but Blade and Jing Liu here. What I'm trying to get at is the color stuff. You have this bluish background. You have his blue greenish hair, kinda, and he's got this red hue over him, and you know, like RGB. Like, it works. Like, there's just things going on here. His eyes are the brightest thing, other than like the trails of energy coming off of his sword. And then we move over here to her, where she has mostly the blues going on, right? But she's got these reddish eyes, which really pop out. And another way of doing color theory stuff is to deal with gradients, but they do a little bit of both, because you have the lights, the mid-tones, and then the dark tones of the blue gradient, right? It goes light to dark, and it's this kind of it's just having you focus in here, but you also are captivated by your eye crossing paths with her eye, because it is like the one color that sticks out compared to everything else that's here. Your focus is in her eyes, and if you trail away from her eyes, you are brought back to them, because you have the light here going in this direction, you have the light here going in this direction, you have the light swooping here. Like, there's just so many, the shading, the lighting effects, and the color combination is leading you to where it wants you to see. And because she's normally a character that has her blindfold on, it's something that like piques that interest. Like, you want to see what's beyond it anyway, right? So naturally, something has changed. Something is different here. You're going to look for where that change is. And it's just really letting you see the emotion in the character's eyes as they're preparing for this attack and stuff. And it's just a really cool, I don't even want to say it's like a trick or a technique, but it just works out so well, how whether or not it was planned out for that specific purpose to do that, it's working anyway. No matter where you go, your eyes are always finding something that trails back to her face, even though her face is mostly in shadow. It's these eyes that pop out, and maybe like the little light on her nose too, which other things kind of like lead to and stuff. So yeah, between how the lines flow, between the lighting effects, between how the colors are on her, you are led back to her face, and that's really cool to me. Okay, so there's that. Let's see what we have next. Damn. Okay, so yeah, let's see what we have next. We have the 1.5. What we're going to do is watch 1.5 and 1.6, and then we're going to take a break, and the next time I continue, we will pick up with the 2.0. I think that sounds fair, right? All right. This is the Crepuscule Zone. I probably said that wrong.
Another anomaly in this shining universe.
Point.
Since you do not understand the beauty, I will have to show you in a way that only a knight can. The beauty is eternal.
Hey! We made it! What's up, guys? Most haunted place in the Luofu. Follow and share. Or else I'm gonna... I think I just...
Wait. Is she... Is she a content creator? That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yo, what's up? You're finally here.
Captain Huohua, should we start the ghost hunt now?
Captain? You can just call me Huohua. The fate of humans means nothing to me. We play by our own set of rules.
Okay. Hanya is also cute. I like how she has like her calligraphy thing going on. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, you get Huohuo and all sorts of... I didn't know that this character was doing things on like some parallel to TikTok or whatever. That's hysterical. That's really funny. And this is like a live chat too that's happening. Like she's just streaming. There's screamy face. This was just humorous. This was really funny. Yeah, this one was just very lighthearted. It was cool. I liked it. You started with the knight, this chivalrous, beautiful man. And yeah, and I guess that does make sense that he is on the Express somehow, because last time we did see him, there was a lot of moments with him on the Express, other than like showing some dramatic imagery of him like standing in like these like gothic looking places with like a flowing cape and stuff, but that looked more like it was through a lens of some story being told rather than like an actual place he was in that moment. But maybe he was, I don't know. Yeah, but this one is dealing with a lot of like anomaly stuff, and then it moves into other side story of like ghost stuff and introducing more characters. And it seems like this was relatively fun, probably really good for character interactions. I would hope so anyway. And that's cool. I like how I'm really curious as to how they showed the girl doing the content creation thing within the mission itself, as she's just standing around with like a phone out, like talking to it, or if that wasn't a thing and that was just for this. I'm not really sure, but there's something that's just funny to me. Okay, yeah. I don't really have much else to say about it other than that I thought this was very lighthearted and humorous compared to other things, even though it looks like it gets pretty serious in some moments. But still, for the most part, I think you probably come out of this quest like, man, these were some cool characters. And that's what I got. All right, let's do one more for now before I take a break. 1.6 Crown of the Mundane and Divine.
I thought Member 4, Pokakakamon, had gotten rid of most of the society members. I didn't have a lot of hope for this. Oh, look who's here.
Buzz. Madam Herta, open zone.
Buzz.
Class 1, clearance zone. Permission status. Madam Monday.
There's much you don't know about the space station. It's crucial to mask your expression until you've ascertained the situation. If not,
You'll be full of weaknesses that others can see through.
A genius move. And how will you counter it? You look troubled. A portrait of internal turmoil. Do try to think for yourself.
The gods of the starry skies have abandoned the world. Only the wounded savior can bathe the world in the firelight of destruction. No matter the distance, annihilation will find you.
Well, that's not good.
Audience dice. How ostentatious.
Okay. Huh. All right. That is... This is probably around the time when I started actually playing, I imagine. Because of the Dr. Ratio thing. And I remember Ron May being on the banner. And me not really knowing anything about her. But yeah, whatever's happening here seems kind of crazy. You're just on fire. I am sorry, Asta. It's a bad time. Yeah. This went from so... It's just like, yep, we're on the space station. La-di-da-di-da. Oh, Ruin May. Oh, man, it's Dr. Ratio. Cool stuff. And then all of a sudden, bad stuff happens. Wonder if she said audience die? I don't know. A lot of questions. I have a lot of questions. And I imagine that maybe Honkai Star Rail has a similar thing to Genshin Impact, for example. Maybe even Zenless Zero. I don't know. Maybe they just Toyo games in general. They seem to have like their main arc in the first couple versions. And then it gets into some more like filler stuff and introducing some characters and blah, blah, blah. And then towards the end, they have like, okay, back to some crazy stuff. And it seems like this might be back to some of the crazy stuff now. Or not. Maybe this could just be like some kind of quest for this character. Even though I think I did her side quest too. I think. Maybe. I'm not sure. Anyway. Yeah. That's cool. I'm hoping that we get to see a little bit more of Ruan Mei and Dr. Ratio. Because I am interested in them. I do like what he says at the end of his thing, though. Do try to think for yourself. I do like that. And it's good. It's good to think for yourself and to come up with your own opinions of things and all that stuff. It's a good lesson to learn. But yeah, between him and Ron May, and I don't know how he fits this on his head. That neck looks way too small. I'm very nervous. Anyway, but yeah. I really want to know more about Ron May, man. I really do. Anyway. That's it. That's what we're going to do for now, I believe. Yeah. Let's see. All right, so we have... Wait, that's 1.6. Okay, and then we're in the 2s. And then the 3s. Why is it... I didn't watch these. Why are these red? Light slips the gate. Shadow greets the fall at dawn's rise. I have no recollection of any of these. I think YouTube just plays stuff when it's closed. I have no idea what's going on. Anyway, I am going to continue with the 2.0 next time, complete that, and move into the 3s, and then we'll be finished. But I'm going to take a break, but that'll only be less than a second for you. So I'll see you very soon. Hello, I'm back. It has been days. So going forward, I apologize if I repeat myself or forget some detail or whatever. But I'm happy to get back to it. So let's do that thing. We are starting the version 2 stuff. And yeah, I think we're about halfway through. So if not more, it might be more. I don't know. Anyway, let's give it a shot. Let's see what's up. Okay.
I want you to show me your fantasy. No past and no future. That's what I need. The groove takes it over. We'll wait and see. Even I might blank out you and me. I thought that dream could light away. Take me higher, take me away. Whoa, oh, be my savior, take me away. Take me away. Deep talk once more, you're hosting a magic show I cannot escape. There's nothing else left for me to do. Going to the other side, other side. I don't wanna be alone tonight. Oh, leave me with you all the time. There's no one else left for me to lose. Heading to the other side, other side. Whoa,
Okay. Hold up. Oh, man. All right. I see. I get it. I get it now. I get it now. I just do. I understand. All too well, I think. Just so this is the intro to Panaconi, right? That's what 2.0 is. That's what the version 2 is in general. That's Panaconi. Yeah, I remember Panaconi being huge when that was first announced, when that was a thing. And a lot of people enjoy that story. I mean, the vibe it has is immaculate. I love it. It's very how do I even describe it? I don't really even know how to explain that feel. Because it's futuristic, right? But it also has that like very jazzy style to it. I thought the music was great for this trailer. Like, I know that that's a great shot right there too with the sparklers. Oh, I don't know. Of course, there's going to be. Of course, there not going to be. There already is. There was. There's a story where things build up or it gets crazy. Things happen. Obviously, that's how you tell a good story. But this trailer focuses on the overall feel of it, I think. Maybe, perhaps. It just seems like a really good time. Despite what other craziness is happening in the background or things that may be depressing or whatever that is, because of course you have that, especially with character like backstories and stuff. A lot of the time, not everything is super happy. Not that, like, it's not like that with every character, but you kind of just see moments in this trailer picked out of like a lot of these characters like having a good time within their way. It's just very happy vibes for everyone, whether or not they're showing a character that you love, a character that you hate, good guy, bad guy, someone in between, whatever that is. It, like, just everything about this. See, it's so many good shots too in general. It's a wallpaper. It's a wallpaper. I wouldn't really have that as a wallpaper. Wallpaper. You know what I mean? Like, there's just... And how you have the freaking... You have, like, the hat as like, your thing. Whatever it does. I don't know. But, that's... I have no complaints about this one. This was a great start for me today. That put me, like, in a really good mood after seeing that. I don't really know how to explain it. But from my understanding with Panaconi, from seeing this, I would think it's heavily music based. That you have your gambling stuff. You have this like futuristic 1920s to 1950s feel of sorts, right? And then you have all these characters which have their, you know, like I said, their backstories and stuff. We saw Sparkle in there too, so there's that whole mysterious, very dangerous element looming around. And you have Firefly, who the internet fell in love for until something happened, and then people like were trying to, like, I don't know, send death threats to writers and whatever because people are stupid. But, you know, like, just like whatever. There's a lot of stuff. And it's good stuff. It's stuff that I like. And the music was just a vibe. I don't really know what else to say about it. It was choreographed really well. I don't even know if that's the right word for it. It was planned out really well. Like, if they made a storyboard for this, which they probably did, at least as far as a list of, like, what scenes to include, if these are scenes from something else, or what scenes to make for this trailer specifically, it was done really well. Like, really well. I don't really do this during these videos. I'm going to watch it again. I don't usually do that. This is not something I usually do. At least not in these longer videos. Or at least parts of it I want to see. Okay, so right there, real quick, they had a couple things that I saw. They had like this glitch effect for a transition, which I thought was interesting, because that could mean all sorts of things. The other transition was lights like flowing down, and then we have this car speeding on the road with its lights blaring. Blaring is a sound thing, not like a visual. Anyway, you know what I mean. And even like little subtle things like that, like when they did the kick, you heard the sound effect of a swoosh of like their pant leg, like making a noise. At least that's how I interpreted it, right? Anyway, so like, you know, you got stuff like that going on. You got... Hold on, 1 second. Something in the way. Okay, no, that is Sparkle's foot. I just wanted to see. I think it's from it's like a different shot though. Yeah, because the floor's different. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know. I was just trying to compare something to the lyrics. I think it's intentional to have Sparkle there and then reference some kind of like, you know, they said wait and see. So there's like, you know, there's obviously you're going to wait for you to see something. And as far as I understand with Sparkle, she's kind of like there around, making her presence known, but at the same time not really, and like hiding herself. So all you can really do is wait and see until she shows up again. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, you know, stuff like that.
I thought that dream could light away. Take me higher, take me away. Whoa, oh, be my savior.
This part's a little trippy. Yeah. Okay. Like, guys, I'm not gonna watch through the whole thing. I'm just going through and stuff. Tick and talk once more. I'm wondering if there's any time shenanigans in it. I know that they have like the clocks, the clock robot people around and whatnot. I'm wondering what that has to do with anything. I'm sure it does. It's got to be some kind of theme of some kind. I don't know. I'm not saying that there's time travel specifically in Penacony, but there's probably something to do with time, with all those kinds of characters around, and them even saying, you know, like referencing a clock within the lyrics itself. Oh, and then they had like the Firefly thing, and she talking about like dreams, finding a way, blah blah blah, all that stuff. You know, like there's a lot of like I think various things can be tied together for sure. For those who have already played through Penacony, if you were to go back and watch this trailer, what are things that you would you notice anything else? You know, like would this trailer make more sense? Is it actually referencing to anything, or is it just a bop? All right, we are going to here.
You've witnessed it, so there's no need to hide. Even the shiniest city has its dark side. Surely I don't need to explain too much to you. Here's to you, sober one, with this glass of a dream within a dream.
It's only when this sword is unsheathed that those hazy memories start to become clearer. This is where it ends.
Clock Studios theme park, the most popular entertainment center in Penacony. The culture of a city reflects its history in the most authentic way.
All this free time, why not make the most of it with a game? High stakes, high rewards. All or nothing. Using Robin's death as a bargaining chip, I'll ruin this beautiful dream and create the grandest death. Ladies and gentlemen, ready to unveil your cards?
Okay. So that was something. A lot of people wanted to watch her cry blood. Now, I originally said, I think I've seen a shot before where I said it was like you know, like the smearing of the makeup when crying or whatever. It's probably blood, but the reason I said that is because there is makeup here. There is red eye shadow. So that's why I thought it was that. And I remember someone saying, like, she doesn't wear makeup, she's gorgeous. She's also a fictional character. But yeah, I do think this is actually crying blood, and that's a whole thing of feelings right there. That's like a whole, oh god, that is scary. That is very depressing. That is, you okay? You okay, boo? What's going on? I don't know, but I know, but I don't know. You're having a time. I didn't really, I don't know what it is, but Aventurine. What I want to, I made this comparison before, but Hoyoverse does these characters that are very, like, you know, gambling, cards, just smooth criminal like characters, you know, and I don't think it's the same person, but it's just very like Aventurine, and from my memory of Linny from Genshin Impact, they sound the same or really similar. Like they both have the same tone, you know, just like the more light voice, the more suave trickster vibe to them, right? And that's just like a very stereotypical character for this kind of setting. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just like, oh, it's this guy again, right? But I'm sure there's probably more to him once you get to know him and stuff. He's also sounding like he's a you know, an antagonist for this part. At least it seems that way, whether or not that is true. Talking about using Robin's death for his advantage. I didn't know Robin died. Unless if she doesn't, and that's something they're talking about something else, or maybe she does and comes back, or maybe she's just... I said a while ago that I thought she was sick or something. That she had something going on. So, yeah. Anyway, learning things. But this was cool. This was definitely a, you know, like show off the characters kind of thing. You know, you have Acheron and you had Gallagher before, and you have Aventurine. So, yeah. Cool stuff. This is a Robin-themed drink. Huh. All right. Oh, yeah, here's you, Sober One, with this glass of a dream within a dream. That's a reference to Robin and Sunday, right? Right? Or is that just a Penacony thing in general? But his whole thing is like creating this dream and stuff, and I've already talked in depth about Sunday stuff in past videos, which I'm actually very happy about. A lot of people seem to have been super cool and nice and happy that I was able to somehow pick up on Sunday's arc, essentially, just from watching his trailer. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even say it's that predictable. It's just knowing what to I guess it's just knowing like symbolisms, like in metaphor, and just being able to pick out clues from visuals that you see and how to piece that together. To, I mean, that it doesn't always work, but that's just kind of what I do anyway. I watch this stuff and I'm like, well, this probably means this probably means that, blah blah blah, and then the character says this thing, so there's probably this feeling behind it, blah blah blah. Like, you just kind of put the puzzle pieces together, and you come up with your speculation, and sometimes you're way off and sometimes you're right on the ball, and that's just kind of what I do here. So it was cool to see that a lot of people were actually, I guess, pretty happy and or excited that I was able to see at least a little bit of that. Yeah, anyway, seems like a cool character for a story. I don't know, but anyway, let's move on to the next one.
Newsflash! Pentaconi's Charmony Festival has entered its countdown phase. The singer Robin, famous throughout the cosmos, has announced in a recent press conference that she will release a new album for the festival.
It's for Mikhail, and for the future of Pentaconi.
Come with me, everyone.
Let's deal with these thugs first. Then we'll talk about how to deal with you.
Here's your final reward.
Everyone, are you ready?
Finally, you've arrived. Everything is ready. It's time to step on stage. And this is our final hope.
Prisoners, this is my order. Learn the essence of freedom and teach your fellow prisoners to fight for their lives.
Like fireflies to a flame, life begets death. Brother, do you think the stars will fade away?
Wow, okay. So, I'm guessing Robin did not die in that last part, because she's very much in this one. So maybe it was a setup of some kind. Or a trick. Or a gaffe. A goof, if you will. Some of this imagery here is insane. I don't know what it is, but when you have everything so colorful at first, and then you cut to a scene that's just straight up monochrome, that's just black and white, grayscale, whatever, it's there's a weird feeling to that. Not in a bad way, it's just like, it almost, I unplugged everything. It's almost like it's just, I don't even really know what to say. Like, it's otherworldly. There's like, there could be a sense of dread or emptiness. Old school as well, just because, but not that this looks like that. I don't know. It's very artsy. Oh man. But even before this one, you had like colors fading, but other colors like still standing out. Like this, everything else is faded, but you got the blue, the purple, the pearlescent like paint splattering on things. That's cool. This stuck out to me. I know it was really quick, but this stuck out to me big time because it's just such a contrast between the no color and then like a really bright color. So there's that. And yeah, we have Robin. She does her sing thing. There was at the end there was someone speaking. Hold on. Yeah, brother, do you think? I want to hear that again.
Brother, do you think the stars will fade away?
So my first thing that I'm going to is Robin talking to Sunday in like a flashback, like a memory or something. Because it sounded like a little girl talking to their brother, and I know that Robin and Sunday are siblings. So that's what I think. Unless if it's something else completely different and we're just throwing it in there because it means stuff, but I don't know. That's just where my mind's going. Yeah, we have Boot Hill. I believe that's his name. I believe it's Boot Hill. I'm not 100% sure. I know I've called him Bootleg in the past. It's hard not to when he's got legs like that, but I'm just saying. Yeah, this was cool. I feel like I think the Panaconi stuff really does seem like a big step up from the previous things that we watched leading up to this point. Like, it really escalated big time story-wise as well. And that was the vibe I got when it was being released. So yeah, another great trailer. A lot of questions, a lot of mysteries going on, all sorts of characters being introduced, but I like it. All right, 2.3, farewell Panaconi. We're leaving? I didn't want to leave.
To me, hiding is much easier than being honest. Yet, I still want to try expressing my emotions as any ordinary person would.
Forgotten someone, my gray-haired friend? I put a bomb on this ship. You have 10 minutes to find it. Better hurry.
Initiate cleanup. Move form, ignite. I shall set the seas ablaze.
Always remember, don't leave with any regrets. So now, do you understand what you must give up, Miss Sam? Even from here point, as distant as it may be, I'm more than capable of keeping you on a tight leash. There's no backing out now. For me, or for you. My script isn't over yet. It's been a while, little Yelena.
I propose a toast.
Since you care so much, speed up the countdown.
To the future of Penacony and the universe.
Can I interpret this as the next phase of the simulated universe?
Correction. It's a new subject matter that Dr. Ratio and I have personally agreed on.
Okay. Seems like Sparkle is playing a game. And yeah, we just saw it. There's a thing right there. This thing right there.
Penacony and the universe. Penacony and the...
Panaconi and the universe. Well, you see it right there. I can't really get it on the thing. I wanted to see this. Okay, it's really just her moving by after whispering something into your ear, probably. Okay, yeah. So you have, I guess, the cruise ship or Panaconi in general being threatened. I guess, I don't know, but like Sparkle's doing some hide and seek bomb shenanigans, and it seems like a pretty big deal because you have the mech grabbing it and flying off into the sky to get like to create some distance, I imagine, with the bomb. I guess. Very they've done this kind of thing before this, but like Avengers, Iron Man taking the nuke, flying up into space, other dimension opens and launches it in there and falls back down to the planet kind of thing. I'm feeling like there's kind of like that sort of thing that happens, but it's the mech and it's Firefly piloting it, right? Which I don't know if that would be revealed at this point in time, but I guess it does get revealed if it wasn't before. And I think that I would guess that that's supposed to be a pretty big twist. Only because, I'm only saying that because when I was playing Honkai Star Rail at the time, when all this Penacony stuff was coming out that I didn't get to, I did have my members in the Discord help me out by telling me to avoid certain things because very spoiler heavy. And it was definitely Penacony, and there was a lot of chatter on the internet about Firefly in general. So, not that I read anything in particular, but based off what I've seen now, I'm kind of like, all right, I can see how that could maybe be a thing. How her being this person who's treated as a weapon to fight in some galactic war or whatever it is, and the whole concept of them trying to be like individuals and stuff. Her on Penacony trying to live a life, but still called back to her duty or whatever that is. I don't know. I'm feeling like there's that kind of story in here somewhere, right? Otherwise, why talk about it at all? So you have that, you have Sparkle, you have the lady that is literally here just to do the like the step on me thing, like just to have that happen because people are sick. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. Very cool character. But yeah. This is the whole things get intense now. Okay. So this here, I don't want to assume that the subtitles are matching the scene that we're seeing, because you're not supposed to go with that when you're watching trailers because they don't always line up. But it just seems like it fits here referencing this, because why else would you show Topaz? And this makes me ask so many questions. What was this woman's name again? The step on me lady or whatever, the step on you, like whatever, like was it Jade? I remember seeing something where they talked about some organization and like different important people in it, and they had like the names of like gemstones. Like Aventurine is this gemstone. I didn't know that was a thing, but the Jade and Topaz. So this woman stroking the hair of Topaz's head, being like, "It's been a while, little Jelena." I guess Topaz's real name is Jelena? And she's a lot more important than I originally thought she was, I guess, because before I'm thinking like, oh, she's just like debt collector or IRS or whatever, like, but apparently she plays a bigger role, and that's cool because I like Topaz. I don't know how Topaz feels about this situation, but yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next. 2.4. Finest duel under the pristine.
Coming back to this place brings back so many memories. You know?
There you are! Everyone, this way!
The Xianzhou La Fu will be holding the Luminary Combat Art Ceremony. Your presence would be greatly appreciated.
Why are there Boris in here?
Right on time. Hello there. Hey, old metal. Which one do you want to strike? Oh, all of them? Rock-shattering slash!
Master Yun Li, look at how hard I've been training. I could take 10 of you.
The shackling prison on the Luofu is completely different from the one on the Yaoqing. It's completely underwater. Wherever crowds gather, there is always an undercurrent beneath the surface. Since you're already here, why not have a meal before you leave?
My first meal after regaining my freedom is the flesh and blood of my fellow kindred.
My condolences, Miss Hanya.
Memories of chasing, gnawing, and tearing. They've all come back.
If this is what they want, I'm always up for a challenge.
Okay. March with a sword. I'm okay with that. That's pretty awesome. I dig it. I like March. I like swords. Cute outfit. I dig it. Anyway, so yeah, when I honestly, I judged this so hard in the very beginning, and I don't even know why, because I haven't even been to this place. I haven't even been here, and I complimented like how cool it looked before, but something in my head made me just go like, oh man, we're out of Penacony. We're back in this place that we were already at for probably a long time. It's almost too soon. But I don't know. And I almost felt like this was going to be like, is this like Honkai Star Rail's equivalent to like Genshin's Lantern Rite? Is that what this is going to be? Because you go to Liyue every time it's a Lantern Rite, and like Liyue was great and all, but I'm just kind of like, we're in Liyue a lot. I don't know. That's just me because I'm still early moments in the game, and like I've been in Liyue the most out of everywhere because I'm either doing past Lantern Rite stuff, like looking at reactions, or I'm doing current day Lantern Rite stuff because it's taking me so much longer just to like get out of the, like, you know, I'm just getting out of Inazuma right now. But so anyway, I didn't know, like maybe like do we like, is this just because that's just what they do? Because last time when you were here, you went back to Belobog at one point too. So I'm guessing that whenever we go to the next place, there's going to be an event where you go back to Penacony for something, right? That's just my guess. I don't really know. Like they have like a pattern of sorts. And that's fine. I'm cool with that. But anyway, yeah, so I saw that and I was just kind of like, oh, okay, I guess we're back here. That's fine. Whatever. But now that you see some crazy stuff happen, I am kind of I'm very interested. I'm like, okay, this looks captivating. Little spooky, scary. Seems pretty extreme. This is a cool cutscene. Dan Hong throwing a spear into a door, through a door to hit this thing, I guess, or to keep the door from closing. Because maybe it'll get stuck. I don't know. Anyway, there was some cool stuff in this. And then you got this badass. And I like her too. Alright. Now we're going to move on. Let's go to the next one. Flying Aureus shot to Lupin Rue? I probably said that really wrong.
Welcome everyone to the War Dances Knockout Stage, brought to you live. Both fighters are ready.
Got a tournament arc?
Showdown begins now.
Spicy, stimulating. Something ominous has arrived.
Welcome, Miss Slingshot. I am Preceptor Tauron.
The disciples of Sanctus Mix. Looks like the Alchemy Commission is involved once again.
Indeed. I helped plot the prison break in the Shackling prison.
Seishal, the ports of Starscape Haven are crawling with wolf-like creatures. They're moving fast.
Hold them back! I will be there immediately! I venture forth to hunt. I'll see the General's duty through to my last breath. Inevitable! Are you ready for your death, abomination?
Your water stands here.
Iron's Claw, you have betrayed the Alliance.
We're both monsters and were born for war and die for war.
Pray that the arrows of the hunt will pierce the heart of every monster.
Yeah, sure. I'm okay with that. Mose. I remember there being a lot of controversy around this guy because of the voice actor. Yeah, we don't need to bring that up. I remember who that voice actor is. Because way back in the day, I used to follow some of their stuff. Then they turned out not to be a great person. So, whoops. Anyway, I don't know who the current voice actor is now. They're probably fine. No idea. I don't really follow the stuff anymore. This is just things that I hear through the grapevine, just being within the general space of gacha Hoyoverse things. I don't really know the details, so don't quote me on anything I say when it comes to drama. I also, ultimately, don't really care. So, what I do care about is pretty art and gameplay stuff. That's what I do care about. That's right. That's my thing. Look at that! Anyway, sorry. I do want to see this shot though. Give me the shot. Give me the shot. That's we're close. There we go. I wanted to see this. That's cool. Wallpaper. So I've talked about this before. I have to talk about a gripe that I have, a pet peeve that I have when it comes to some storytelling stuff, because I'm just so freaking tired of it. When they showed the beginning of this trailer, I was like, oh damn, tournament arc, cool. No longer cool, because it looks like they're gonna do the same thing that they do in almost every freaking tournament arc ever within anime anyway, where it's like you have the tournament and then before it's over, a big bad shows up and ruins the tournament, and now we're just going to fight the big bad that no one fucking cares about because we were all invested in the tournament that was happening. But okay, let's care about the big bad now, I guess. It's like, oh man, dude, come on. I mean, maybe we care about the big bad. Of course we do. We want to save the day and all that stuff. But like, I also want to see this character fight in the finals, and now I don't get to do that. You took away my Superman versus Batman fight. No. I think there's maybe like 2 anime I could think of that might have completed tournament arcs. One of them is My Hero. The other one is maybe Yu Yu Hakusho? Maybe? I can't remember. It's been a really long time. Anyway, but for the, I mean, it's just crazy. It's a pet peeve. I'm sorry. And just seeing this awesome frame right here, you know that their fight got stopped and now they're working together against the big scary wolf guy. What I do like about this, other than her, is that this very much does seem like a follow-up to the previous thing, or at least I imagine, because we're seeing like the same kind of creatures and stuff. same enemies. And they were talking about how they were released and all sorts of crap, and yeah, so that's what I had to say about that. It looks cool. This it seems like it's continuing that story. Here, it introduced a interesting thing that was happening in the world. This tournament, only to most likely strip it away from us if you actually do complete the tournament or get to participate or actually get to see it in some way. Let me know. Maybe it was just a cutscene and it's whatever, and then it's over and it doesn't matter. But that would also be disappointing. It'd be cool if you could actually participate in it somehow. If they did something with that. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe there's just, because that's not really how the game works. It's like you have your team, right? So I don't know. Anyway, moving on. 2.6.
Actors, take your positions. 3, 2, 1. Action!
Huh. The power of ninjutsu here is quite dim. I shall unleash the vibrant colors of dazzling ninjutsu. Ha! By the great lawn above, dazzling brocade ink painting!
Like bananas within their peels, we can never break free of its encapsulation.
Finally, all preparations leading up to the climax are in place. Let us welcome the beatific final act!
Got a crisis? Throw a party! Your name will carry your ideas, your convictions, and your destiny. Your ninja name belongs to you alone. So the decision is yours to make.
Dazzling Ninja reporting for duty.
That trail was so good, my house is on fire. I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back. Good news is that my house is not on fire. Bad news is I don't know what caused the fire alarm to go off like that. So if you don't hear from me in a couple of months, I would say, after this video, I'm probably gone. Anyway, let's continue with what we have here, because that's more important. We had a lot of Rappa in this one, which is what I liked, because we didn't really get to see a lot of Rappa before. And if I could go on a little tangent for a second here, I know people aren't gonna like this take. Before, in the past, when I've seen other stuff with her in it, like her demo, I was like, cool demo, don't know anything about the character. Very colorful, very cool, she's got style, not much else to her. Great. And a lot of people didn't really like that take, because it's like, well, you have to play the game to actually understand her and get to know her. Bitch, obviously. What kind of response is that? A character trailer is supposed to tell you anything about the character. But I'll digress. Really, their character demos and trailers are for them to sell you the character in some way, so you go and buy the character. Right, so you spend the money to make the pulls for the character. It's not necessarily for storytelling purposes. It's just like, we're going to do what appeals to people and get the thing, which is why some things just turn into music videos. It's just the excuse of, well, play the game. That doesn't work, because that's, like, the trailer has to convince you to play the game. You understand that, right? Like, that's what trailers do. Trailers are there so you go and watch the movie. Trailers are there so you go and play the game, so you go and buy the game. trailers are there so you go and get interested to see what the show is about. One thing is supposed to lead into the next, not the other way around. That's not how it works. So Rappa's character demo is specifically for the people who have already been playing the game and not for people who don't know anything about the game. Meanwhile, other character trailers and demos could be both. They really could. And that's why I thought her character demo was weak. Because it's like, oh, but if you listen to the lyrics of the song, you're going to get to know all this stuff. And it's just like, no, not everyone's is going to do that. I could if I spent a video on it, but as a normal viewer, that's not how it works. No one, for their first time watching the thing, is going to pause it bit by bit and analyze every little thing. Sure, you have some people do that, but are they really paying attention? Maybe they are. Maybe they are. Some people are really good at that. I can think of a few YouTubers who are actually good at breaking things down as they happen. But there's a lot of people who just pause it and be like, oh man, that's cool. Anyway, and they press play again. And they're just interrupting the thing because they're afraid of getting flagged and like losing their ad revenue on their video. That's really what that is. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is here, I'm happy with this because this is the first time you actually find out that she is a ninja and why she's a ninja that uses color with her stuff, like paint and whatnot. Like, there's nothing that really explains that to you at all beforehand, unless if there is a lyric in something that I missed because I didn't analyze the lyrics, like I said, because people don't do that on a first watch. But yeah, that's just what that is. I'm happy with this. She is cool. I dig her now. She was cool before. I never hated her. That's the other thing. The moment you're just kind of like, it's kind of whatever, people assume you hate it. That's not how it works, guys. God forbid if something's not peak. Like that doesn't mean you hate it. That's not an insult. I don't know what happened. This guy's tripping balls. Anyway. Oh man. There was a lot that I liked about this. I'm glad, like, you know, it's cool to see Penacony again after being away from it for like 2 parts, right? And you do have this weird kind of, it is pretty weird story of this guy who's essentially nuts and he's trying to make a movie, but I'm guessing his movie's a little real and it's kind of dangerous, and then other people are getting involved. That's what it seems like what's going on here. And there's something about that I think is pretty neat. Yeah, I like, you know, you have the black and white feel, but people are actually running in terror for reals. Yeah, he kind of looks like a nut job. His outfit is all over the place, but it's fine. I can't shame him for that. That's a funny face. All right. Yeah, so there's just a lot of cool stuff. Why are we doing like the rock on? Okay, sure, that's fine. But like I said, there's a lot that's cool about this. I do really like Rappa's combination between her ninjutsu stuff, but then there's also the paint, the graffiti art that's very colorful and stands out, which is very unlike a ninja, but because she says what she is and it's like a specific kind of thing, like now I'm like, that's a cool theme. I like that. It's some like weird urban ninja stuff, and I think that's pretty rad. Robin's a DJ too, apparently. She's not just singing her pop songs, but she's also working the table and all sorts of stuff. And yeah, sure, why not? Anyway, let's move on. We have We have some more to go. I don't know why YouTube does this. I don't know why it's like randomly like, oh yeah, you watch this because of the red bar. Oh yeah, you watch this because of the red bar. I've never seen these. It did it to me the other day with a video of something that wasn't related to anything else I normally watch. And it's like, how? I don't know what this is. Anyway, I don't get it. 2.7, a new venture on the 8th dawn?
Oh, welcome to the party car, Nameless. Would you like to have a drink, a snack, or commence party time?
Is that a Zenless Zone Zero reference with Bernice?
We may not be able to get a party started right now, but please feel free to relax
or is it the other way
and
around?
unwind here.
The stars are numerous, and yet widely scattered.
Dreams of a past life are now all gone.
Though the cosmos stretches far and wide, as long as we hold each other in our thoughts, there will always be a chance for reunion.
Before I leave Penacony, I'd like to take some time to look back.
Who knows who's been panicking? Blame is pinned on him with a dozen rumors going around.
Echoes of the past. You need not fade away. Follow me. To the stars! Should one desire to leave the stage for good,
One must first step back onto the stage.
have you ever thought about making them pay?
All seeing presence. I ask you this.
Okay. Now, I like this one, because, well, first of all, we have the Herda here, which is already fantastic. People must have been losing their minds seeing her silhouette here and hearing her voice. I would have lost my mind. Probably if I was like more into it, I'd be like, oh, Herda. The real one. But yeah, so we got Sunday stuff, and we have, oh man, I already forgot her name, and it upsets me. This character, who I think has a beautiful design. Man, it hurts me so much that I forget her name. What did it say in the description? Probably. It probably says in the description. Fugue? I imagine? Unless if it's Shush, but I don't think it's Shush. I don't think that doesn't seem like that would be Shush. Fugue? Okay. Yeah, so I found out from watching the other stuff with this character in it that apparently she dies. But now this is her back. And that's cool. It also makes sense with the stuff that she's saying, how, like, you know, no more of a past life and blah, 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 and all that stuff. But yes, I mean, between having this character return and Sunday doing his confused dealing with his villain arc, I guess, and then you have the hints, the foreshadowing of the big, not even just hints, just straight up telling you like, yep, the Herda is coming, is here. I feel like this would have been a pretty crazy adventure here. I would imagine. I would imagine it'd be a lot of fun. Unless if you're just not a fan of Sunday. I feel like if you weren't a fan of Sunday, then you probably wouldn't care that much about this. But if you liked him, then you'd be like, yeah, Sunday. Better than Monday. I'm going to stop. I'm just going to... Okay, we're going to go to Nameless Faces. All right. Oh. Oh, this is okay. So we are in the next place. This is like the gods. Hmm. Okay, a couple things about this. The tone shift is big. Before we had the whole jazzy, lighthearted, fun vibes of Penacony. This one seems more like depression. Not in a bad way, but like prepare to be sad. It's going to be mystical. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be crying yourself to sleep time. That's the feeling I got from watching this. I don't know about you. What's making me cry the most? Probably I was just on it before. This is sad. Is that no? It was this. This is the thing. This is what's sad. This March freezing up again. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, come on. Keep her out of the ice. Then we have the Herta just doing Herta things with the colors and like, okay, you do you, girl. You're fine. You look sad too. But I've personally only known you as like controlling dolls, so I don't feel that bad for you yet. But maybe I should. Anyway, okay, Herta's looking a certain way. I'm just gonna go over here. Anyway, yeah. So this looks like it has its epic moments. That there's some tragedy involved. A lot of it, as it tends to be. But if you're dealing with like stories of gods and stuff, or dealing with parallels to that, it's gonna get pretty crazy and wonky and depressing and all sorts of stuff. So maybe they keep that vibe throughout it and it works well. I don't actually know. How do you feel about this? Because I know you guys who have been playing are in this section. Is it holding up to Penacony, or is it kind of like not your vibe, or what's going on? You let me know, because I don't. It seems cool though. There's a lot of there's all sorts of stuff. I like that the thing now, before it was a hat, now it's a pen, a quill. That's pretty sick. I don't know what the significance of that is, if there is one, but there is this. Oh man, I think I'm misremembering things. I'm not sure. Did Kafka in the very beginning say anything about like writing your own story? Or something like that, something with writing, and then like I don't know, maybe I feel like that's a very cliche thing to do when you're talking to your main protagonist in the beginning of something, or it's just like, this is your story, you write your story, you know, blaze your own trailblazers, like, just like whatever. But the idea of being within this world now that is definitely based off of more myths and storytelling and destinies and stuff and like whatever. I feel like having your weapon, your item be this quill is very symbolic, that it fits it very well. Like, sure, you might think like, well, I'm around like these great like warriors and stuff and like legendaries, like why not give me some giant badass sword or something, because that's something some crazy Roman or Greek god would do or whatever. Yeah. And like, no, just like this fits just as good. This fits maybe even more, to me anyway. I think it's an interesting take. Anyway, so yeah, I like that part. I do like its aesthetic as well. This is all either everyone's really hurt or they're paying oh wait, someone's down. Okay, never mind. That seems bad. So someone's having a bad day there, you know. Yeah. Okay. I don't really know what else to say about this other than it looks like it potentially gets crazy. Because how can it not when you're dealing with figures like this? And seeing what I have seen so far of like some trailer stuff, we know that at the very least behind the scenes, things were a little intense, just a little bit, especially with this guy. You could tell that he had a bad day. At some point in time, he might have had a bad time. I did notice in the song how they said strive, and I think he's like that guy. He's like, isn't he like the god of strife or something like that, or whatever? Or anyway. And I know that there's like eons as well, and those are considered gods. I don't think these guys are like, they might be gods, but I don't think they're on par with eons. Maybe they are. I could be wrong. That's a whole nother thing. Unless if they are, but eons are just older, and these guys are new. You know? So there could be that as well. Also, in the very beginning, we got a lot of gold here. Splashing it on ourselves and stuff, being all cool. Is this just straight up god blood? Are we with fountains of god blood? Because I'm pretty sure like a very common thing is that like, whether it's in this or something else, that like gods bleed gold. I think I've heard that somewhere before. Are you Kevin? Anyway, let's keep going. Let's that was the opening of that. Let's now move into mythology opening trailer.
The Eternal Land, Amphorius, a world where three paths intersect.
Titans, the ancient gods of Amphorius, once worshipped by humanity, they now stand as their foes. That prosperity burst like a dewdrop. A black tide swallowed the world, inundating it in blood.
Save Akima! The Mad King Nikador has returned! Look! There's strife and conflict everywhere!
A war in the name of the gods lifted the curtains to turmoil.
There are mortals who fight against fate, even in this hopelessly bleak era.
Even gods can bleed!
You and I will eventually step off the stage. For if death cannot be avoided, I wish it could contain beauty more plentiful.
Stand down or die.
Treeby, see you tomorrow.
When you have a chance to make a choice, make one that you know you won't regret.
Stand with me and become heroes!
Okay. You just had to ask. Didn't have to yell at me about it. Yeah. This looks sad. Whatever's happening here, this looks very depressing. Tribby is... From what I remember, I need to rewatch those very heavy lore videos of this, the golden something. I need to rewatch them, pay more attention to them. From what I remember, Tribby used to be one entity and then split into multiple, and is essentially like the god of or watching over humanity itself. So there is a Tribby in like every realm where humans are, or something like that. I might be way off, but I thought there was. That's the reason why there's multiple, because she did a thing to split her person into multiple to be in various places. I'm sure there's more to it than that, but that's kind of what I remember after a month or so at this point in time from seeing that. Probably maybe even more. But yeah. So there's that. There's I mean, it was said very aggressively, but even gods can bleed. That's something. That's a whole thing right there, because there's the whole idea that a god. So here's the thing, right? Why this line, other than just being an epic thing to say, why this line is crazy is because the idea is that like a god shouldn't bleed, right? But Roshi, they're saying even gods can bleed. I know, that's the point though. Because normally if you were to make a god bleed, you'd be like, oh, you're not a god because you bled. Gods don't bleed. But here they're like, no. You don't understand. Gods can bleed. Just because you may hurt someone who claims to be a god doesn't mean that they are human. They could still be a god. Like, I don't know. So it's there's something about that where it's like you can even make an effect against a really powerful entity. Not a powerful entity who's human or something else claiming to be a god, but a god itself. You can affect one. I think that sounds pretty crazy, pretty badass. They said it a little psycho in this part, whoever that is, because I don't want to pair voices with what I see on screen, but still, that's something. Yeah, I mean, very, very epic opening to this next part. And it seems like you get right into it. Like here, bam! That's a bad day. You're just on your train and then bam! You just get shot through with something, and now you're on this place and you gotta deal with all these gods and other things happening. The Titans at war with each other, and it's just having a bad time. Maybe it's cool, but I don't know. I don't think I'd want to be there in a place that's just in constant strife and conflict, as they said. Anyway, let's move on to next. We have not many left. Look at that. Okay, 3.1.
Vitamos, can your murderous intent match up to what fate has in store for you?
Stop yelling.
In fear you shall abandon your mortal body, King of Bravnos.
Let me have the honor of taking the lead in this battle. This journey is forged with bloody flames.
Oh.
3 molded life with their hands, and 3 guided Calamity's gate. 3 carved the heavens and the earth. 3 wove the threads of fate.
Trivy?
Hello?
Yeah.
We are Treeby.
Trevy.
Fighting the west wind, away we go!
Or it's Trivy, but then they had...
Numbers!
Yeah.
It's time to end this. Offer your souls to the fire.
The son of Urgo is destined to be crowned in blood!
All will they die.
Stay alive.
Can't be killed in a single blow.
How we wish to see you again.
It's now my turn to fight against it.
The son of Urgo will be crowned in blood! The son of Urgo will be crowned in blood!
Okay. So I do think it's great how they're just like 3 did this, 3 did that, 3 is the reason why everything exists in the first place. It's really epic and cool. This is why you're alive. No, it's just like that contrast of the like epic and then wholesome and fun. No, it's a good dynamic. I do like that. I don't know if dynamic is the right word, but I do like that. Not even necessarily spin, but subverting expectations, I think, is what I want to say. I think that's the right thing to say. And then you have Mighty, Jacked Ether, who is doing his thing, and well, we see him get stabbed. Yeah. I think in this part we have something where it's multiple parties kind of in a free-for-all against each other, and then it leads into a cooperation where it's the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing, and then people end up working together to overcome the odds. That's sort of the feeling I get from this whole thing. And then we also had what's her face, who is she was, I'm not sure, was she in this one? She was before, like later on, I think. Her Death, right? She's Death, right? I don't know if that's her name, but she is essentially Death. When I saw her trailer or whatever, I was very, or I don't know if it was her trailer, but the golden thing that she was in, when she was talking about how essentially she's forever alone, which is very sad. I don't know. I like that kind of character who is destined to sort of just do a job, and it's essentially pretty sad because of where that job is going to inevitably lead them. Because her whole thing is about death. Everything I touch dies. Like, you know, it's one of those. So like they're forever kind of destined to be alone. and to have this shot right here where like they're close is kind of, you know, it's heartwarming in a way, because you still have, whether or not it's the main character, there's other characters too that we've seen that are all like in stone and stuff. Like, I get the feeling that there are plenty of people who would want to be close to her, who would want to be her friend, and it's more so on her pulling herself away from everyone else to not become more hurt than she already is, knowing what she is and what she does. That's just a guess, though. I don't know. Also, and this is not the character I'm referring to, I apologize. But I'm pretty sure it is, but I apologize if it's not. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. 3.2. Through the petals in the land of the post.
I just want to know if my touch, if my embrace can do more than taking things away.
Okay, yeah. We were just talking about this.
Can I make anything? Can I leave anything behind? But now, perhaps I might have one last chance. Sleep now. Embrace new life, Pollux. Professor, I completed the proof you wanted.
As expected. This is the moment when the flame chase journey is the closest to its end. I see. In that case, let the show begin. Straight to the soul. An undisputed victory. Fusing a mortal soul with that of a titan to replace said titan is not a ludicrous idea after all. The answer is plain as day.
It is my hope that you bring a much-needed change to this world.
I have deciphered the truth of this world.
I will bring rest to death.
Your lonely pursuit is about to welcome a new chapter.
Stagnant life will once again flow. May I borrow your
The
word
sky above us,
one last time?
it's not real, is it? I will sow the seeds of suspicion with your soul!
This embrace may be brief, but it's the proof that I once lived.
Oh, I actually got chills from that one. I actually got chills from that. Yeah. Okay. So, not only did it touch more upon this character here, which we were kind of talking about, it does kind of confirm that stuff about what she's wanting, what she's trying to do, how, you know, she always takes away. Can she leave something behind? In a way, by taking away things, you are leaving something behind. Does that make sense to anyone? It does to me. You change things. By removing something, you create a change. And, you know, time goes on and stuff, and it's just, yeah. So it's not necessarily just leaving one thing behind, but you are essentially just changing the course of life itself, how it continues, how people react and stuff. So, yep, that's how I look at it. But this seems pretty insane. Also, I don't mean to be that guy, because I don't really know, but I gotta say it. They're calling this guy the professor? I'm getting hardcore Dottore vibes, the doctor vibes from Genshin Impact. I mean, doesn't he also have like a face mask thing, like an eye patch thing, and he's all about messing with crazy science experiments with people's lives and stuff. I'm pretty sure that's a thing that happened. I'm just seeing some parallels. That's all. I'm not saying they're the same character. I'm just seeing parallels here. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying there. And I don't actually know because I haven't met the guy yet. I haven't seen A Winter Night Lazo at the time of this recording, which I'm pretty sure that's Fatui related, so he's probably in that. I'm also not in Sumeru yet, but I know he does he does play a part in Sumeru. Not exactly sure what, but I know he's there. Anyway, so I could be talking out of my ass, but I kind of, as crazy and dark this character was, once again, it's that concept. It's that concept that I like of like people messing with stuff that they shouldn't because they can, because they create their own reality with it. Like it's just, I talked about it was like there was a Ruan Mei thing. I'm sure there was a, what was his name, Fu Xuan or something like that, Fei Xuan, the girl with that talked about every world has its laws, and with the pink hair, and she was like beep boop boop bop bop, like turning there wasn't any beeping sounds, I just add that myself, but she was like turning the bullets back on Kafka. There's her, and I'm sure there were others, and we got this guy now. He's messing with actual souls, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, there were a lot of things I saw in this that caught my interest immediately. I don't know how you can see this and not, if you're into Honkai Star Rail at all and you see this, I don't understand how you cannot feel hype. You'd have, like, the other ones before this would have had to have been really bad, because all of this looks pretty crazy, and I would be like, I need to know how they're telling this. Also, like, just, she looks really badass, just like in combat too, and with the scythe, and of course Death has the scythe, and it makes sense. Look at that. That's so cool. This guy's not just going to sleep, but he's getting vaporized. Damn. Anyway, I love this one. This was great. So far, I think my favorites have been Penaconies. Well, this is also recency bias, for sure, because I'm not mentioning the ones that I reacted to before this one. But Penaconies opening for sure with the, what's it called, White Knight or something, and then I'd say this one. This one's up there too. Yeah. God. Okay. We have one more. I think. Wait, do we? Hold on.
I just want to...
Yeah. Okay, this is the most recent one. This came out a month ago. This is the 3.3 trailer. The Fall at Dawn's Rise. Let's see what's up.
My ancestor, Seliosi the Day Thunder Knight, raised her spear against the sky and ushered in the flame-chasing era that continues to this day.
Miss Hyacinth!
Little Ika. Let's have a break.
Guide me to Rainbow Bridge. May this faint light
heir's flame-chase journey is nearing its end. Friends, let us soar together.
Seriously, where did they hide that thing? Cat and mouse time! Don't fight so I can leave early. Our cute play session is over. This cat will take it off.
It has to be me. Cycles
Leave this to casters and me.
Awaken, Lady Celiosi! Witness the will of humanity!
I am the blazing sun destined to rise!
Okay. That was pretty cool. There, who did I see? Who that? Hold on. I'm gonna find out. Oh no. He's having a bad time. Nope, not you. We're gonna go back. I'm gonna find it. There we go. Okay. Oh no. That's bad. That's bad. That feels bad. We just met her. You're gonna show me that? God. Once again, a lot of cool shots in this. I think it's beginning, right? All right. So first off, I can't not say this. So you'll have to forgive me, and if not, then that's your problem. This is Cotton Candy Barbara. I'm sure she plays a bigger role. She seems pretty important. But design-wise, this is Cotton Candy Barbara. Anyone who says I'm wrong is just more wrong. So no, but I think I do think this is kind of cool though. There's a lot of this that I do think is cool. I don't. It's got a little like little royalty unicorn buddy thing. Don't know what that's about. But sure, why not? Like, yeah, sure, you have your unicorn friend. And then we get cat burglar girl, whatever she is. This is a... I don't even remember if it was earlier in this video or a different video, because I've complained about cat girls a lot and how I don't think a lot of them are done well. I would say, from what I've seen in this, I don't think she's bad. Right? There's a lot of other cat girl characters in Hoyo games where I can be like, I'm not a fan. She doesn't bother me. Like, I'm just like looking at what she's got going on right now. I mean, she has the... I don't even know. Are these just part of her hood, or are these actually her ears? I think they're her ears. But I don't know, because they also look like they're part of her hood. Or is her hood part of her head? I'm not entirely sure. But she has that cat girl aesthetic, right? Like they're definitely trying, like she's doing the stretch, she's got the whatever. And the only thing on her that's really like, I'm a cat, is like this emblem that she has with like the cat shaped ears. But this is also very wonky in a way, with like the teeth and the single eye, also like two crescent moon shapes. Like this is also abstract enough to not just be like, it's just a cat face on me. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm like okay with that. And then there's other things like a moon shape and like, you know, like I don't know. Like there's not much to me other than like the obvious things a cat girl would have, like the tail and ears that scream, "I'm a cat." And she seemed very like thief-like, I guess you could say, like a cat burglar, haha, a cat woman kind of. Like that's the vibe I got, because she has the cat theme. She's pulling like the payday move that Meowth would have in Pokemon. Like, you know, she's just like taking people's coins when she smacks them up a bit, and then and yeah. I don't mind her. I don't mind her at all. I think she's like, what? Like, look at that, and then just coins flying all over the place. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, I don't mind that. And then they did that. So I mean that was just straight up an ass shot. So that's a thing. That's okay. I don't. She's hot. It's whatever. Anyway, so look, games, guys. You can do this now, probably. So that's it. Anyway, yeah, I watched all the version trailers that were available to me as of right now. With my luck, there'll probably be another one in like a couple days when I post this video, and I'll be behind again. But just so everyone knows, if you're not aware and you're watching this still, I know there's still stuff coming out. And it's like, when are you going to watch them? Where do you go? Well, that just means I'm going to have to make more videos in the future when they stack up again to make worthwhile videos out of. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But that's how I think I'm going to be doing it. I think I'm just going to wait for a few to group up and then marathon through them like I have been with this stuff. If I change my mind with that, maybe I'll do it differently. I don't know. I can't tell you what the future has because unlike a lot of these characters, I am unable to bend the fabric of space and time yet. Or at least that's what I'm going to tell you. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. This was a lot of fun, and I look forward to seeing more Honkai Star Rail and all these other titles that keep releasing really cool and fun stuff for me to just watch and talk about and have a good time. If you had a good time, let me know by hitting that like button. You could also let me know your thoughts by leaving a comment in the description. No, that's not how it is. I put stuff in the description. You can leave me a comment in the comment section. That's where those go. And in the description, there are additional ways of how to support me. And, you know, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It helps me out a lot. There's like 70% of you who just watch this stuff, probably your favorite parts, and then like you go fuck off somewhere else. And I'm like, why not stay? Why not stay? Click the button, and then you can see all the other things that I make in the future that you might be interested in anyway. You know what I mean? Stick around. Have fun. I'm so lonely. No, that's a joke, kind of. Have a good one. Enjoy your day. I'm ending the video now. Shine on, you crazy diamonds. Later. You can't fix weird.